What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video and another edition of Sports Takeover. Thank you for returning to the channel. If you've watched my videos before, if you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And go ahead and smash that like button because you know this video is going to be fire. Now, today, we have an exciting video, probably the best one that I've most excited I've been about for a video I've done on this channel. Now, today, we are going to get into the top 10 again, but today, it's going to be ranking the top 10 players, the #1 overall picks in the last 10 years in the NFL. Now, there's a lot of different players that have been taken: offensive linemen, quarterback, defensive ends. So I've got them broken down 1 through 10, who I think has fared the best in the NFL so far. Now, this doesn't mean that, let's say I put somebody at number 7. This doesn't mean that necessarily they're good. Okay, it just means that I think they're in the number 7 slot compared to the other guys on this list. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, number 10 and number 9 were pretty difficult for me to decide. It was really like picking the best of the worst, if you want to go there. It was really hard to decide who was the worst out of these two guys, if that makes sense. Both guys have not really fared well in the NFL so far. They've had pretty below average careers, I'd say. Didn't really live up to the hype. But number 10 of the last 10 #1 overall picks, number 10, I got Sam Bradford. Now, he was drafted by the Rams, okay? Now, his record in the NFL so far, 34, 48, and 1, okay? So not very good. He has had no 4,000-yard passing seasons, which is pretty unheard of nowadays in today's NFL with all the passing yards we're getting. He's had multiple injuries. I mean, he has been knocked out of games here and there, left and right. He has only played 16 games 2 times in his entire career, okay? Now, that's not good, okay? He is definitely not somebody who's reliable, who you can start your franchise around and know that he's going to be there for every single game. So I got him at number 10 on this list for those simple reasons right there. Now, number 9, I got Jameis Winston. Now, Jameis Winston came into the league like Sam Bradford with a lot of hype coming out of Florida State. #1 overall pick, obviously, to the Bucks. He came into the league doing pretty well. His first couple of years in the league, he had 4,042 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions in his rookie year. His second season, 4,090 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 18 interceptions. So he came in doing pretty well, right? He, really came in with that pressure, and he lived up to it the first couple of years. Now, the past couple of years, for some reason, he's dropped off quite a bit. Now, his third year, 3,500 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. Last year, he obviously had a down year, lost his job to Ryan Fitzpatrick. 2,900 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. So, for some reason, his career is definitely dwindling in the wrong direction. I think the Bucs really need to figure out what they're going to do there because they got a new coach coming in, Bruce Arians, who is the quarterback whisperer. So if he's not able to do anything with Jameis Winston and help him have success, then I don't really have an answer for what's going to happen next. I think if this year is a bust and he's not able to produce like they want him to, they got to move on from this guy because this will be, his 5th year now, and if he's not able to produce like you're wanting to, you got to get rid of him. Or he's going to be your backup, one of the two. But I got him number 9. Number 8, this doesn't necessarily mean that this guy is bad. I just felt like compared to the rest of the guys on this list, this was where he fell best. Number 8, I got Myles Garrett. Got drafted by the Browns, #1 overall. Now, Myles Garrett has had some pretty good years. He's only been in the league 2 years now. He's had 20.5 sacks in his first 2 years, which is very respectable. I mean, he's averaging a little bit over 10 sacks a year his first 2 years, which is pretty remarkable, honestly, for your first couple of years. So, like I said, he hasn't had any bad seasons necessarily, but compared to the other guys on this list, I felt like he fit best right here, number 8. Number 7, we got his new teammate, Baker Mayfield. Now, some people might think this is a little high for Mayfield to be on this list. At the same time, let me know who else he should be behind. Baker Mayfield came into this league as a small quarterback, a lot of upside, a lot of potential. You know, not a lot of people thought he was going to be the next great thing because of his size. Had great mobility, great scrambling, but he came into the league with, you know, that undersized mentality. And so a lot of people kind of threw him under the bus, you know, specifically for that reason, because he wasn't the tallest quarterback. Now, he came into the league last year to the Browns, who were obviously winless the last year, and then went 1-15 the year before that. He was not the starter week 1. He was behind Tyrod Taylor in the first 2 weeks. Came into the week 3 game and took over that starting position. Now, his record definitely probably would have been a lot better if he would have started the whole season, but he still had a respectable 7-8-1 record for the Browns. Now, for the Browns, that's absolutely amazing. That's Hall of Fame status right there for the Browns. So he definitely has a lot of upside. He has a big arm. He's got a great mobility and scrambling, you know, ability as well. He reads defenses extremely well, especially for a rookie. So I think, you know, there's only going up from here. I think, you know, come next year this time, he's going to be top 3 on this list probably. But right now, I got him at number 7. Now, number 6, we're going Jadeveon Clowney for the Texans. Now, he necessarily hasn't had, I would say, great breakout years, but he's definitely had some decent, you know, decent enough years to put him number 6 on this list. Been in the league 5 years now. His first year did not have any sacks. He did have some injuries though, so that played into it. Year 2, 4.5 sacks. Year 3, 6 sacks. Year 4, 9.5 sacks, which was awesome. And then year 5, 9 sacks. So he's definitely trending in the right direction. I think it helps having Watt healthy next to him to be able to kind of take some attention off of him to be able to do what he does best, and that's rush the quarterback. So I think as long as both of those guys are healthy at the same time, they're really going to be able to feed off of each other and you know, help each other get sacks, get tackles, attack defenses. You know, attack the defenses the way that I know that they can. So I got him at 6. Number 5, I got Jared Goff. Now, Jared Goff is in his 3rd year. His first year into the league at a Cal. You know, he was in Jeff Fisher's system, which didn't really bode well for him. We all saw that. He didn't really have a great rookie outing. Now you've seen what he's been able to do under Sean McVay in that new system. I mean, he looks like an MVP caliber quarterback the last 2 years. So that's definitely awesome to see. I think he's only going to get better the older and wiser that he gets. His career record, 24-14. So that's pretty damn good. If you're able to be 10 games over 500 in, you know, your first 3 years, that's pretty damn good. He is obviously going to the Super Bowl this year. After yesterday, he's going to be going to his first Super Bowl in year 3, which is definitely a good feat to accomplish. His first 3 seasons, 9,581 yards, 65 touchdowns, and 26 interceptions. So not off the charts with the stats per se. He did have a really, really good year this year. But I think as he gets older, then he is definitely going to be able to, you know, accomplish a lot more than that. So I got him at number 5 right now. Number 4, I was kind of skeptical on this pick, but at the same time, just looking at his stats and what he's been able to do, not necessarily with the win column, but just his stats in general, I had to put him number 4. So number 4, I got Matt Stafford. Coming out of Georgia, he had a big arm. He was more of that gunslinger mentality, kind of like a Favre. You know, definitely didn't win like Favre though. So Matt Stafford is 66-75 in the NFL for his career record. No playoff wins, okay? No playoff wins. Now, a lot of you might think that, you know, if he's got no playoff wins, why is he ahead of Jared Goff? Well, the reason is because of some of the stats that he's put up in his career. So this list is all about who's fared well, who's fared better so far in their career. So I think some of the stats that he's put up are definitely spectacular. Looking at his 3 best years, 2011, he had 5,038 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. The next year, 4,967 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions. The year after that, 4,650 yards, 29 TDs, and 19 picks. He's always been a little bit higher in the league on picks because of that gunslinger mentality. But, you know, with that being said, for 7 out of his 10 years, he's had over 4,000 passing yards. So That's pretty good in this league right now. So right now I got him number 4. Number 3 is probably more of a surprise pick for a lot of you guys. I got Eric Fisher, the offensive lineman on the Chiefs. Now, it was definitely a surprise picking him number 1 when the Chiefs took him a few years back. His first 4 years in the league, he went to 4 Pro Bowls, okay? And he definitely helped solidify that offensive line when they needed it the most. So for his consistency, his 4 Pro Bowls that he's been to consecutively, and his impact that he's had on that offensive line, I've got him at number 3 on this list. Now, number 2 on this list, this is going to be up for debate. Number 2 and number 1, you know, when I say number 2, you guys are automatically going to know who number 1 is. You know, it was really hard to kind of decide who's had the better career, who's fared better in the NFL right now. But really what I'm looking for on this list is consistency. Are you able to make your teammates better? Are you able to, you know, when you're out of the ball game, how does your team fare? You know, are you the type of guy that you're injured for a game and your team gets blown out 38-0? Or if you're out for a game, are you guys still either winning or are you losing by 3 to 7 points? So with that being said, number 2 on this list, I got Cam Newton. When he came out of Auburn after winning the Heisman Trophy, huge hype around him, right? Hadn't really seen a whole lot of quarterbacks with his size, 6'4", 6'5". His ability to scramble, he will absolutely truck you. He will go into linebackers and look for the contact and try to run them over. And he had a huge arm. I mean, his rookie year, he was breaking the NFL rookie passing records. So when he came into the league, there was huge hype around him. Now, with Cam Newton, his career record, 68, 53, and 1. So not too shabby. He had 1 Super Bowl appearance we all know about against the Broncos. Now, they did not play too well in that game, obviously, right? So 43-8 in that game against Peyton Manning and those Broncos. You know, he did win the 2015 MVP. That was his second best season, I would say. After his rookie year, he did have 35 touchdowns that year. So he's definitely had some decent stats. But as far as his, you know, the one thing I worry about him is his ability to stay on the field, because he does look for that contact. He does take those big hits. Is he going to be able to sustain that long career like the guy on number 1 on this list, I think, will? You know, the key for him is being able to change his game and kind of adjust his game to the way that he needs to play to sustain that long career, because otherwise he's going to be done in a few years. But right now I got him number 2. And then the number 1 guy on this list, guys, I got Andrew Luck in the Colts. Andrew Luck, 53-33 career record. He's had 1 AFC championship appearance. His first 3 years in the league, Colts went 11-5. And we all saw what happened last year when he was out the entire year. You know, they went 4-12, I believe. You know, so that's really what I'm looking for too. Without one guy on your team, you know, is regressing 7 or 8 games, right? So it should never be that way. One guy should not be that important to a franchise. For the Colts, it is. Andrew Luck is definitely that important to that franchise, and you've seen what's happened when he's been out, right? So came back this year, had a stellar year, 10-6 record, won another playoff game this year against his division rival Houston. You know, his years in the league, obviously he missed last year, but his rookie year he broke the rookie passing records. He had 4,300 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 18 picks. His next year, 3,800 yards, 23 and 9. Year 3 went up quite a bit, 4,700 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. That was a really, really good year for him. Year 4, he was injured quite a bit that year. He only had 1,800 yards and 15 touchdowns and 12 picks. Year 5, which was 2016, 4,200 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 13 picks. And then this year, 4,593 yards, 39 touchdowns, and 15 picks. Now, obviously a career year for him this year. So with his ability to be able to come back from that injury and be able to progress his career, you know, and improve those stats from what he once was at is absolutely spectacular to me. I think his ability to make his teammates better, his ability to be valuable to the franchise, you know, obviously we talked about what happens when he's out of the game. He's definitely missed. They're a completely different ball team. I think that you know, with what they're trying to do in Indianapolis with, you know, protecting Luck, we saw what can happen this year when you're able to protect Luck. Finally, it took them 7 years to be able to protect him, but look what happened when they finally got an offensive line solidified and what he was able to do. He had a career year. So if they're able to continue to do that and continue to build that in Indy, he's going to continue to have these types of years, and, you know, really progress his career like we all think that he should, and we all thought he should when he came out of Stanford #1. So that's my list, guys. Let me know down in the comments who your list would be, who your #1 guy over the last 10 #1 overall picks would be, down in the comments. That's the comment question of the day. Until next time, it's been awesome.